Unexpected pairing. The stars above Velura Prime shone like frozen diamonds. The air on the landing pad was sweet, cool, and filled with soft glowing dust. Human diplomat Aaron stepped off the shuttle with tired eyes and a stiff back. This mission was supposed to be easy, just a cultural exchange. Meet officials, shake hands, eat some alien food, then go home. But things didn't go as planned. Two tall Veluran guards stood at the end of the platform. Their long silver robes shimmered, and their eyes, bright yellow, stared at Aaron without blinking. "Human Aaron," one said, "you are to come with us." Aaron raised an eyebrow. "No welcoming speech? No ceremony?" They didn't smile. "You have been chosen by the Matchmaking Council." "It is urgent. Matchmaking?" Aaron blinked. "Wait, what?" The guards didn't explain. They simply turned and began walking. Aaron followed, heart pounding. This wasn't in his mission file. Nobody told him anything about a matchmaking council. Was this some kind of misunderstanding? A cultural accident? He was led into a large white building that floated slightly above the ground. Inside, everything glowed with soft blue light. Walls moved gently, like breathing. Strange music played in the air, though there were no instruments. It felt more like being inside a dream than a building. At the center of a circular hall stood 5 tall Velurans. Their robes were covered in symbols Aaron didn't recognize. They were the council. One of them stepped forward and spoke with calm authority. "Human Aaron, by ancient law and modern agreement, you have been selected for bonding." "Bonding?" Aaron asked, stunned. "I didn't apply for anything like that." "I'm here for diplomacy." A second counselor replied, "The bond was arranged before your arrival. The match is complete. Your partner has chosen." "Partner?" Aaron took a step back. "No, there's been a mistake." Before the council could answer, a new voice spoke. "She's not wrong." The voice was soft, but it stopped everything. A small figure stepped into the hall from a side door. She was no more than 5 feet tall, slender, with lavender skin and large, bright green eyes. Her dark hair was tied in a neat braid. She walked calmly, like someone who already knew how this would go. She smiled sweetly and looked directly at Aaron. "You've been matched with a wife," she said softly. "And that's me." Aaron stared. Who are you?" "My name is Lyra," she replied. "I'm a Class 1 matchmaker. I chose you." "You are my life-bonded match." No, I don't even know you," Aaron said, stepping back again. "But I know you," Lyra replied, still smiling. The council remained silent. Lyra moved closer, slowly, as if afraid to scare him off. "When I was little, I was trained to read patterns, minds, souls, futures. I found yours 3 years ago." 3 years? "I didn't even know about this place back then." "I did," she said. "And I waited." The match was confirmed. By the system, by fate, and by my heart. Aaron turned to the council. "You can't just assign me a wife. This is insane." A third counselor spoke now. "You are free to reject the bond. But understand this Lyra is a once-in-a-generation matchmaker. Her pairings are never wrong." Lyra didn't say anything now. She just looked at him, her smile slowly fading. Something about her expression, hope, mixed with sadness, hit Aaron harder than any speech could. He wanted to say no. He wanted to demand answers, yell, argue, storm out. But something about her felt familiar. "Why me?" he finally asked, quietly. Lyra stepped closer, her voice almost a whisper now. "Because when I first saw your image, I didn't just feel numbers or lines. I felt calm. I felt safe. I felt seen. You're not just a perfect match. You're mine." A chill ran down Aaron's spine. Outside the chamber, the glowing stars of Velura shifted slightly, almost like they were listening. Asterisk. A smile with secrets. Aaron didn't sleep that night. The room the council gave him was comfortable soft. Walls, floating lights, temperature perfectly warm. But his thoughts were too loud. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw her Lyra that strange, calm smile. The way she looked at him, like she had always known him. Like he belonged to her. The next morning, a soft knock echoed at his door. It slid open. Lyra stood there, holding a tray with a cup of steam rising from it. "Tea," she said with a smile. "Human style. I replicated it from your ship's databank." Aaron sat up, surprised. "You've been inside my ship?" "I visited after you arrived," she said gently. "I wanted to make sure you felt at home." He accepted the tea cautiously. "You didn't ask." "You're my match," she said simply. "I care for you. That's what bonded ones do." He drank slowly. It tasted like home. Too much like home. "You even got the brand right. Only my unit uses this mix." "I know," she said softly. Aaron stared at her. "How do you know so much about me?" Lyra sat down across from him, hands folded in her lap. She looked nervous for the first time. "I didn't just find your match code," she said. "I watched your missions. I studied your voice logs, your patterns. I even learned some of your language." "You spied on me?" "No," she whispered. "I learned about you, like someone learns about a dream they keep having again and again." Aaron didn't know what to say. This wasn't just a professional assignment. She wasn't treating him like a stranger. She treated him like they were already something more. "Why would you go through all that trouble?" She hesitated. "Because," Lyra said slowly, "you're the only one who ever felt right. Every time I scanned a potential partner, their energy felt distant, cold. But yours ... was warm." He set the tea down. "That's not love. That's science." "Then science gave me feelings I didn't understand," she said quietly. Aaron stood up. He needed air. He stepped out onto the floating balcony outside. The room. The sky above Velura was soft purple, two suns casting golden rings through the clouds. Lyra followed, barefoot and silent. "I know this is hard for you," she said. "But I didn't choose you to control you. I chose you because I didn't want anyone else. And when I saw your file, I thought maybe, just maybe, you needed someone too." He turned to her. "You think I need saving?" She looked up at him. "I think you're tired of pretending you don't." Silence stretched between them. Finally, she turned away. "I'm sorry, Aaron. I didn't want to scare you." She walked back inside. The door hissed shut softly behind her. Aaron stood on the balcony for a long time. He didn't understand what was happening. Was this all a setup? Some political move? Or had this strange glowing girl truly waited for him for years? Back inside, a soft sound came through the wall. Lyra humming. It wasn't alien music. It was a human lullaby. One his mother used to hum when he was a child, on cold nights back on Earth. His chest tightened. How could she possibly know that? The forbidden link. The next morning, Aaron couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply wrong. Lyra's words echoed in his mind. "I didn't want anyone else. You're my match." I know that lullaby. No one was supposed to know that lullaby. It wasn't in any file. Not even his closest friends in the diplomatic fleet had heard it, unless someone had been watching him for far longer than he imagined. Determined to find the truth, Aaron made his way to the Veluran library core, a glowing tower of data nestled inside a tree of crystal. With help from the AI translator on his wrist, he gained temporary access to non-restricted public files. Aaron wasn't interested in public files. He had been trained in infiltration and data ghosting before becoming a diplomat. Those old skills returned like muscle memory. Using a few tricks and hidden codes, he bypassed the filters and entered a locked database titled Project Bondlight Human Integration Trials. His heart pounded. Inside were detailed logs of experiments. Dates. Genetic readings. Candidate list. His name. Next to it. Match confirmed. Subject assigned to LIRA 018. Aaron's hands shook. He opened Lyra's profile. She wasn't just a normal VELURN. She was engineered. Class 1 matchmaker wasn't a title, it was a designation. She had been raised in isolation, trained to match with humans using emotional simulations, voice imprinting, and psychological bonding techniques. His file had been fed into her before he ever arrived on Velura Prime. This wasn't fate, this was design. Suddenly, footsteps echoed down the data hall. Aaron closed the file and stepped behind a glowing panel just as a tall Veluran archivist walked in, scanning the terminal. He waited until the footsteps faded and quietly exited the building and disappeared. Into the marketplace. His mind raced. They lied to me. This wasn't a coincidence. I was selected like a lab rat. And she's part of it. But then, why did Lyra cry? Why did she know that song? Why did her touch feel real, not trained? That night, he returned to the quarters. Lyra was sitting by the window, sketching something on a glowing pad. She looked up as he entered and smiled softly. You disappeared today. I needed answers, Aaron said coldly. She stood up, sensing the change in his voice. What did you find? Everything. Her face fell. You were trained using my file. You were shown my face before I ever landed here. You memorized my childhood. That lullaby, you didn't feel it. You studied it. No, she said quietly. Not like that. Then how? He snapped. Why lie to me? She stepped forward, tears forming in her large green eyes. It started as training. Yes, I was told to study you, to prepare for the bonding. I obeyed at first. Aaron's voice was low. And now? Now, she whispered. I don't need the program anymore. I don't care what the files say. I love you, not because of the data, but because every time I dreamed, you were there, even when I tried to ignore it, even when they told me to move on. He looked into her eyes. They weren't glowing with programming or logic. They were trembling. Human. Real. I didn't choose this path, she said, but I chose you, and that was mine alone. For the first time, Aaron saw her not as a product of a system, but as a girl who never had a choice, yet still chose him. He didn't speak. He couldn't. But something inside him shifted. He was no longer just a visitor on this world. He was part of a truth they didn't want revealed, and that made him dangerous. Asterisk, run or stay. That night, Aaron didn't eat, didn't sleep. He just stared out the window, watching the twin moons of Velura rise like pale eyes in the sky. Behind him, Lyra sat silently like a shadow that refused to leave. He couldn't stop thinking about what she said. I didn't choose this path, but I chose you. What did that even mean? Was her choice real? Or just another layer of programming that made her believe it was? The next morning, Aaron made a decision. He packed his things. Lyra stood at the doorway, her hands shaking. You're leaving? He didn't answer. You think I'm fake, she said softly. I don't know what to think, he replied. But I can't stay here and pretend any of this is normal. You were raised for me, like I'm a mission, not a man. Her voice cracked. You were never a mission. You were my hope. Aaron paused, but didn't turn back. He left the room. The walk to the shuttle bay was quiet. Too quiet. No guards. No voices. Even the wind felt heavy. As he stepped onto the launch platform, a voice rang out behind him. We cannot allow your departure. 3 council members stood there. Their faces were calm, but their eyes were hard. Aaron narrowed his own. You lied to me. You used her. One counselor stepped forward. The bond between a Velaron and a human must be studied. You were the perfect match. You don't see the gift you've been given. I never asked for it, Aaron said coldly. Another counselor raised a hand. You may reject the bond, but you cannot reject the experiment. You are under containment until the final phase is complete. 2 guards moved to block the shuttle. Aaron's fists clenched. So I'm a prisoner now? No, said the counselor. You're a subject. Suddenly, a blast of energy hit the guards from behind. They crumpled to the ground. Stunned, Aaron turned. It was Lyra. Her hands still glowed from the pulse weapon on her wrist. She looked at him, eyes wide, chest heaving. Run. You attacked. Your own people, he said, shocked. I don't care, she cried. You wanted freedom. I'm giving it to you. Just go. Alarms began to scream across the base. Red lights flashed in the sky. Lyra ran to him, grabbed his arm. They'll chase you, but I have a plan. He hesitated. You're risking everything. For you, she whispered. Not because I was told to, because I want to. This wasn't programming. This was defiance. This was love. And in that moment, Aaron finally understood. She may have been built for him, but she was choosing him anyway. All right, he said. Let's run. Together. They bolted into the night, guards shouting behind. Them, energy blasts sparking off the walls. They didn't stop, not for fear, not for doubt, because now they were no longer running from something. They were running toward something new. Asterisk. The bond awakens. The night on Velura Prime was quiet, too quiet. The soft grass glowed faintly beneath their feet as Aaron and Lyra ran through the outer forest. The air shimmered with floating lights, but neither of them stopped to admire the beauty. Behind them, the Council's drones scanned the skies. They had only hours before a full capture unit would be deployed. They reached an old transport station abandoned decades ago. Vines covered the walls, and the control panels flickered. With age, Lyra dropped to one knee, working fast on the dusty interface. Aaron stood near the door, eyes on the dark trees. Are you sure this will work? Yes, she whispered. It's a hidden route, a place not even the Council tracks anymore. We'll be safe there. For now. He turned to her. Why are you doing all this? She paused, hands still. Because you needed to be free, she said. And because I couldn't bear to see you leave thinking I was just a machine. Aaron looked at her for a long moment. I don't think that anymore. Lyra turned slowly. Her eyes were wide with surprise. You don't? He nodded. Back at the shuttle bay? When you stunned your own guards, when you said go. No one programmed that. That was you. Lyra's lips trembled. They taught me how to feel for you. But what I feel now wasn't part of the lessons. They stood in silence. Then, without thinking, Aaron reached out and took her hand. It was small, warm, real. He could feel it now, something deep and strange buzzing beneath his skin when they touched. Like energy, like electricity. Lyra looked down. You feel it too, don't you? Aaron nodded. What is it? The bond, she whispered. It's waking. I thought it was just a system. It started as a system, she said. But when 2 minds align, when 2 souls begin to choose each other, it becomes something more. The lights on the panel blinked green. It's ready, she said softly. They stepped into the small transport chamber. The door sealed behind them with a gentle hiss. The machine hummed. Then, in a blink, the world outside changed. They were underground. Now, deep beneath the city, in a secret Valyrian sanctuary built during ancient wars. It was dark, but the walls glowed faintly blue. A safe place. For now. Aaron sat down on a stone bench, Exhausted. Lyra knelt in front of him and reached into a small pouch. She pulled out a glowing crystal and placed it gently on his chest. This will show me if your bond has truly accepted mine. He didn't resist. The crystal lit up instantly, but instead of the normal pale color used in bonding tests, it turned gold. Lyra gasped. That's not possible, she whispered. It's pure. What does that mean? Aaron asked, confused. She looked up at him, eyes filled with awe. It means, even though this bond was started by science, your heart finished it. He blinked. You mean? It's real now, she said. No systems, no experiments. You and I are truly bonded. Silence. Then Aaron leaned forward, slowly. Their foreheads touched. A soft warmth passed between them. Not fire, not lust - connection, not two beings from different worlds. And yet, the same heartbeat. For the first time, they weren't running. They were finally home. Asterisk, mine now. Forever? The next morning, peace didn't last. A deep rumble echoed through the underground chamber. Walls vibrated. Dust fell from the ancient ceiling. They found us, Aaron said, standing up quickly. Lyra nodded, already activating the hidden shields around the sanctuary. I thought we had more time. Above them, dropships roared through. The clouds. The council wasn't sending diplomats this time. They were sending enforcers, soldiers, machines, to take Aaron back. To erase the truth. We have to run again, Aaron said. No, Lyra whispered. Not this time. He turned to her, surprised. What do you mean? I'm tired of hiding, she said, eyes firm. We didn't do anything wrong. You didn't break the system, Aaron. We proved it works. Only when it's built on real choice. Outside, the first breach charge hit the top gate. Lights flickered. Aaron stepped beside her. Then what's the plan? She pulled a silver device from her pouch, a signal beacon. I'm going to speak to all of Velura, to the galaxy, to every bonded, broken, or forgotten match out there. They need to hear our story. Aaron gave a slow smile. Then let's make it loud. Above ground, the Council's command ship hovered, scanning. The sanctuary. Suddenly, a signal burst out from below, hijacking every comm panel across Velura Prime. Screens lit up in homes, markets, ships, even on Earth's diplomatic stations. Lyra's face appeared calm, glowing, brave. She spoke. My name is Lyra 018. Was raised in silence, taught to bond without heart. But I chose a man not because he was selected, but because he was right. They wanted us to fail, to prove love could be designed like code. But we're still here, and this bond is not their success. It's ours. You told him I was his wife. Let me say it now, in my own voice. Aaron, you're mine, now and forever. Across the city, silence followed, and the shields dropped. The enforcers stopped. The Council's command ship powered down. No, shots were fired, because something stronger than weapons had just been used. Truth. Later that night, under Velura's twin moons, Lyra and Aaron stood hand in hand outside the sanctuary. They weren't hiding anymore. Valyrian citizens walked past them, bowing their heads with quiet respect. On every wall, her broadcast still played in loops. Some cried, others clapped. And from Earth's orbit, a message arrived. Your bond has been acknowledged by the Human Alliance. Full protection granted. Lyra turned to Aaron, eyes shining. We made it, he nodded. Together. She leaned into him, voice soft. Still think I was programmed to love you? He smiled. No, now I know. You were born to love freely. She laughed. Then whispered, just loud enough for him to hear, you're mine now, human. And this time, it was not a claim. It was a promise. Asterisk,